before I read this coming out this morning. But as Pastor used to always say, this is one of our favorite Sundays. To be able to celebrate the long lives that some of our church members have been blessed to live. And it is so good to, and I'm just so happy this morning that I have my parents with me. You know, you take for granted that mom and dad is here because they've been there all of your life. But then when you look around and you see friends who don't have their parents, you know just how fortunate and blessed you are. So,
our first honoree is Miss Susie Allen.
amen.
Amen.
Miss Susie was born on December 11th, 1926. Her husband, L.C. Allen, is deceased. To this union, 12 children were born. Her kids all call her by the nickname Sister. Miss Susie says, when my kids call me mother, I know they're up to something. She has a total of 71 grandchildren, great-grands, and great-great-grands combined. Miss Susie loves to be outside tending her flower bed, and she has so many dogs. You really have to be brave to come into her yard. Some people call her a tomboy growing up. She still loves to wear caps, watch wrestling and westerns, and she can tell you a little something about baseball and basketball too. The kind of mother who has enough kids to have her own baseball team. Miss Susie Allen.
Pastor F.S. Bond Sr. Fran Schubert Barnes was born August 26, 1937 in Prentiss, Mississippi. He has been married to Evangelist Lola Barnes since 2001. Pastor Barnes has 3 boys of his own and 3 stepchildren from his present marriage, one of whom is our associate minister, Lynette Drew. Reverend Barnes and his wife were both former associate ministers at Tower of Power, but left in 2010 to become the pastor and elect lady of Mount Zion Baptist Church, which is located in the Trigger community. He enjoys singing, bowling, shooting pool, and fishing. But his favorite sport is playing dominoes. See him after church if you want to challenge the best. Pastor Barnes always wears nice suits. Yes, he does. He loves to look sharp from head to toe. His advice to young men, pull your pants up and put on a belt. We give honor today to the shepherd, Pastor F.S. Barnes Sr.
Miss Ida Brown. Miss Brown was born January 31st, 1940 in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. Her father is deceased, but her mother still resides in Arkadelphia. Miss Ida has 4 living children and 6 grandchildren. She is a widow, and ever since her husband's passing away in 2009, she has been TOP's coordinator of an annual outing for widows and widowers. Ms. Brown worked in retail banking for many years in both California and also here in Texarkana. She initially was a teller, but was quickly promoted to branch operations supervisor. At 72, she can still work circles around some young folks. Ms. Brown currently serves on the Women's Ministry Council, and she is the president of our sanctuary choir, and she drives a church van on Wednesday nights for midweek services. The caregiver and hard worker, with a kind spirit, Miss Ida M. Brown.
Well, all right.
Mr. John Edward Caldwell Jr., better known as Big John. was born on August 11, 1948 in Garland, Arkansas, to Mrs. Willie Mae Hector. He has 2 brothers and 4 sisters. He has been married to Mrs. Mary Caldwell for 43 years. To this union, 2 sons were born. The Caldwells have 5 grandchildren. His trade is as a welder and metal fabricator. He loves fishing and hunting. Big John says the fish doesn't have a chance with him because he's a pro. This is a man that says what he means and means what he says. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Caldwell.
Ms. Gracie L. Dixon. Sister Gracie was born on March 6, 1943 in Tollet, Arkansas, to Bradley and Annie McCoy Poindexter. She comes from a big family of 11 brothers and 9 sisters. She was married to the late Paul Dixon Sr. for 36 years. Sister Gracie was the former youth director here at TOP for many years. Now she serves as substitute teacher in the youth department, and she is a church greeter. She sings in the choir, and we call her the GPS as she rides the van on Wednesday nights, sometime with Miss Brown, to provide directions. Ms. Dixon enjoys reading and spending time with her grandchildren. Sister Gracie loves to laugh. Contact her anytime you want to watch a comedy show or a funny movie. The passionate prayer warrior who absolutely loves children, Sister Gracie L. Dixon.
Now my husband don't know this, but I'm gonna go and tell it today. Mr. Rudy Green Sr., I call him my little boyfriend. So. Mr. Rudy was born in the Big Easy, New Orleans, Louisiana, on August the 2nd, 1934. He is the proud father of 9 children, plus he has several grandchildren and great-grandchildren. This is the father and father-in-law of Jocelyn and Rosalind Rodney Thomas Sr. Mr. Rudy was a physical therapist at Charity Hospital in New Orleans, Louisiana for 33 years. In his younger days, he also was a prize fighter. Now he says, I'm a lover, not a fighter. He is one of the residents that our nursing home team visits at Lynn Rock Nursing Home in Texarkana. Mr. Rudy has earned the nickname 3-Way because he sits in a spot at the nursing home where he can catch the women coming all 3 ways down the hallway. The family man and ladies man, 3-Way Rudy Rudolph Green Sr.
Our next seasoned citizen is Mr. Leroy Harry. Mr. Harry is sitting out in our audience, just waving hands. Come in.
Cutest grandpa in the house.
Mr. Leroy Harry was born August 24, 1932 in Angie, Louisiana. He has been married to Miss Thelma Harry for 55 years. To this union, 6 children were born, all with the names starting with D. Dwight, Diane, Donna, Daphne, and Donna. One of his daughters is deceased. She was a twin to Donna. Mr. Harry has enjoyed hunting squirrel, deer, rabbit, and occasionally possum ever since he was old enough to carry a gun. He is a graduate of Southern University, where he received his bachelor's degree in educational, vocational agriculture, and agribusiness. Mr. Harry taught high school for 25 years. He taught at the Bossier Parish Community College for 2 years and was also a deputy sheriff for 2 years. He participated in the Southern University Livestock Show for 25 years as an FFA advisor with many champions to his credit. Mr. Harry worked diligently in the community as a field veterinarian. He still loves to work daily in his yard or garden. The agriculturalist, the hunter, the gardener, my father-in-law, Mr. Harry.
Leonard Harry. Mrs. Thelma was born in Memphis, Tennessee on January 18, 1933 to the parents of Andrew and Dorothy Leonard. Mrs. Harry has one sister, 5 living children, and 10 grandchildren. One granddaughter is deceased. This is the mother and mother-in-law of Rodney and Donna Hartfield. Mrs. Harry was the first female and black mayor pro tem for the town of Benton, Louisiana. She served as city councilwoman for 16 years and was instrumental in getting the Martin Luther King holiday a paid holiday for city employees. In her political and community activity career, Mrs. Harry has prevented a truck stop from being established which promotes gambling activities. She has secured housing for the elderly, worked with the NAACP, and traveled to Washington, D.C. courts to address gerrymandering occurring in her district. With all Mrs. Harry's accomplishments, she describes her most precious and prestigious work as marrying her husband and raising her children, who are all lovers of the Lord. Lovers of their parents, plus each child has at least 2 college degrees. Mrs. Harry has enjoyed sewing since she was 10 years old. She quilts, does crossword puzzles, and enjoys talking on the telephone. Her life motto is, if I can help somebody, then my living will not be in vain. The political advocate, the wise and strong mother, Mrs. Thelma G. Leonard Harry.
Yeah!
Mother Millie Jones. Wave, Miss Millie. Miss Millie Jones was born the 2nd day of May in 1919 to parents Herman Anderson and Rebecca Conway. She was married to Charles Jones, who was deceased for many years. She was born in Miller County and currently resides at Arkansas Nursing and Rehab Center. Mother Jones is an experienced usher and still mans her post here at Tower Power. She says she has worked in the church all her life and simply loves to go to church and loves the Lord. The lifelong doorkeeper and servant of God, Mother Millie Jones.